He's an eccentric billionaire with nothing but a bunch of extra time to spare. He's got his favorite subject and he's happy to share everything he knows about Greece. He'll go to every single ritzy secret event and mingle with his buddies in the 1%, but they find his passion and embarrassment and repeatedly ask him to cease. But never one to back down, ever a pro. He claims there's nothing else that's even worth it to know. So he grabbed his butler Eric and he started a show to see if anything will catch his eye. Now every fresh contestant must babble and boast on the subject of their choosing that they treasure the most. Put your hands together and welcome your host. It's Adal Maximilian, Josephus, Vin Diesel, Rifai.
It's Tell Me About It. Haha! Welcome to Tell Me About It. Oh, did you see that? Lightning? Weird. A game show about proving the things you love are actually interesting and fun. I am Adal Rifai, local eccentric multi-billionaire, and I am still looking for someone to go into the depths of the ocean with me. Send me your resumes. Let me know if you want to go. But in the meantime, I'm also looking for someone to show me something that is better and more interesting than the movie Grease. Though I am not doing this by myself, please welcome my butler, who is currently being punished for stealing fire from me and bringing it to the common folk, little Prometheus himself, Eric Silver.
I'm a stinker. I just make the humans a little bit better.
Boy, oh boy. So for your punishment, Eric, as everyone in the room can see, you've been pushing this boulder up a ramp. What do we say? That's a 10 degree incline?
It could be more, whatever you think is best. It's an X degree incline, maybe an XV incline.
XV, nice. Let's punch that in, bump some Sisyphists.
Boom.
Boom.
It was much better than you chaining me down and making me eat liver and onions perpetually.
Can I blow your mind, Eric? That was your own liver you were eating.
Whoa! How do you get to grow back each time?
Well, I'll never tell, actually. As Brittany Murphy once whispered in a trailer I saw, I'll never tell.
And then she also whispered 8 Mile to you, really, really low?
Well, did I ever tell you about growing up in Detroit?
No, I would love to hear about it. And you're going to rap about it now.
Well, we cut all that, but
it was, whoa, incredible. You saved the community center with your rap.
Yes. Can you imagine me rapping like Eminem? I think that is content for no one. Eric, I know you're still being punished. You currently, we just had dinner and I would not allow you to eat any of the ambrosia salad, which to some might be a reward, but for you is a punishment. But Eric, if you would like to get back in my good graces, I suggest that you swiftly introduce our guest for today.
I would, and I'm glad you made ambrosia salad because it's something that could only be from the Midwest. A salad with marshmallows? Mm-hmm. That's from straight up Athens, Ohio, if there's a place that I know about.
Thank you.
I would love to introduce our guest. This is podcaster, sound designer, editor, and former wannabe professional wrestler. It's Julia Schifini.
And now I step out from the chorus, and I'm the first actor.
Whoa!
I'm weak in the Aristophanes.
Oh boy!
And we hold for applause. Hold for applause. It's not coming.
Julia, just come on out. You can't be such a Socrates either.
Oh, boy. Okay. Yep.
I was the second one. I took the learnings from the first joke.
Right.
And then I wrote it down because writing wasn't invented yet.
Like Plato and Socrates. Yes. Yes.
I wonder what our fucking category is going to be about today. Interesting.
Who could say?
It's about stoicism. It's going to be really good.
Julia, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. I love that, like a stabbed Polonius, you came out from behind the curtain. It was a big old shock and awe. What brings you here?
I'm here to talk about Greek mythology and why it's the best, because all stories basically come from it.
All roads lead to Rome. Mm-hmm. In a way that all stories lead to Greek.
Yes, 100%.
And I think Rome stole that from, much like everything else, they stole that from Greek, I believe.
Yes.
The Romans.
They really spark notesed it and then like kind of copied over someone else's shoulders. Like, what if we just like change the names a little bit? Would that be good?
Yes, I think that was Spartacus aped that. It aped it all from, I want to say Bullfinch. Julia, we're going to talk about Greek mythology. I got to say, I am so friggin' excited. Some of my favorite things in the world involve Greek mythology. What sparked the passion in you? Was it that French little Greek book that everyone loves?
No, mine was actually, now picture 7-year-old Julia.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Well,
Yes.
too tall. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Adal,
shrink it
picture
all the way down.
too small. Now she fits through a keyhole. Okay.
No, that's about right.
I can't believe your parents let you have a side shave when you were 7. That's very impressive.
Yeah, my undercut was rocking at 7 years old. No, I was a big nerd. Not a lot of friends.
I'm picturing glasses. I'm picturing.
And it was 1998, so we could wear our shoes anywhere in an airport.
Yes.
That's true. That is
okay, I'm
true.
picturing a little sailor outfit, big old lollipop, cartoonishly large lollipop. Okay, Julia, I'm picturing you.
Great.
Continue.
Now imagine all the cool kids are outside playing soccer in the yard, and little Julia is at the library and picks up a book that is called Mythology by Edith Hamilton, and falls in love immediately with all of the stories there. So I was definitely a Greek mythology queer before I realized that what Greek mythology was and also what queerness was. So I was from an early age put on this path to tell you why Greek mythology is the best.
The old GMQ, Greek mythology queer. I love it. Julia, that Edith Hamilton, phenomenal book. I'm excited to talk to you. Why don't we go ahead, Eric, why don't you go ahead and lead us on over to roll that boulder all the way up to round 1.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you can, Eric. I think that's kind of the point. You can't roll that boulder all the way to the
No,
top.
if I keep doing it, then I'll be done. Everyone knows that.
That's true. That is true.
And I'm sure Adal will, and I'm sure Mount Olympus Rifai will let me stop doing this as soon as I get it to the top of this hill. It's right there. Hold on. Hold on, I'm almost there.
That's my Keurig. Keurig. I'm a billionaire, but I can't resist those little pods.
They're just
How
so
do you
fast.
stay rich? That's how you stay rich.
Frugality.
Yeah, being frugal, for sure. That's why you made me take the subway in LA exclusively when we were there.
Yes.
True story.
Every penny counts. That's also why I pitched and was rejected. I pitched a show to Disney called Frugal Rock. It was about a bunch of little thrifty bastards who lived in a cave. But they said they didn't have the budget, ironically. So
Yeah.
Stadler and Waldorf feel like people who have old money and then just never spend it.
Absolutely.
Like when they die, they're it's going to be a real Succession situation.
Eric, here's the thing, but they pulled themselves up from their bootstraps when they came to this country, so they deserve everything that's coming to them.
Well, I mean, they're wires. Julia, they're
Yeah.
puppets.
Also, Eric, now I'm picturing Waldorf saying, "Fuck off!"
You can't make a Tomlin without making a few Gregs. For sure. All right, Julia, this is round 1. Just tell me about it. I have 10 foundational points about Greek mythology that I've pulled from Wikipedia. And Julia, let me tell you, this is an extensive Wikipedia page.
Hey, bud,
so I
yeah,
really
it
had
is.
to reduce it down to the most important parts. Nothing is funnier on the show than looking at the Wikipedia pages that people super care about. It's like this and the miniatures. Lord of the Rings has nothing on the Greek mythology Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
So I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes. You're going to give us an overview of your topic, and you get points for hitting each bullet that I have written here, especially if you make it sound interesting and cool.
Eric, can we change them from bullets to arrows just for today?
Yes, absolutely, just for today. You have to shoot them through 20 heads of... Oh, God, I don't remember. You just basically need to impress Odysseus' wife by doing a really good job about it.
Wow,
You know what,
Eric,
man?
great job.
Yeah. Penelope. You're thinking of Penelope.
I know. I was thinking about the thing that the arrows went through. I can't remember.
okay.
And then your son's there, but you're hiding. It's fine.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
pretending to be an old man because you want to see what's up and if your wife has been faithful to you or not over these past 15 years. And it's a
Yeah,
whole
that was
deal.
the joke I said. Did you not get that?
Oh, sorry, yeah,
I do
I'm
love the
taking
idea
a
of someone throwing down a challenge and being like, "You have to go through. Impress my wife." Is basically.
It's, hey, how about me and all these other guys try to impress that hot woman who's my wife over there? I mean, no, she's not. Let's just see what happens. Let's just
Never
do
mind.
it.
Don't even worry about it. It's
Don't
fine.
even worry about it. All right. I'm going to set this timer for V minutes. Get it?
I got it.
And you just go ahead whenever you're ready.
Awesome. So, I mean, just to kind of start us off with the basics, Greek mythology are these stories that are basically the foundation for the religion and culture of the ancient Greeks. According to the ancient Greeks, you kind of start with the universe. First, you start with chaos, which is both a primordial being and also the literal universe that we exist in, which created Gaia, who is the embodiment of the earth, and then Uranus, who's the embodiment of the sky. And from them, you get the Titans, who are just other embodiments of things that we find in the world. And from the Titans, from specifically Cronus and Rhea, we get the 12 Olympians. And most of Greek mythology is going to focus in some regard on the 12 Olympians, which I am going to list off the top of my head. So here we go.
Please. This would be the place to do it.
I know.
Do it like when you're getting breakfast. Do it on the podcast.
Zeus, Poseidon, Hera, Hestia. Hestia is interesting because sometimes she's swapped out with Dionysus, so it's going to be 13 that I'm going to list here. It's also Apollo, Artemis, Aphrodite, Hephaestus, Ares. Mm-hmm. There's 3 more. I forgot Athena. And I said Aphrodite already, who is the 13th one that
you missed Zippo. I'm so sorry.
Oh, gosh, not Zippo. Demeter. That's our 13th.
And Sleepy.
I always forget Sleepy. He's the one dwarf that, like, if someone asks me that at trivia, it's always Sleepy that I forget. Also, Happy. Shouldn't Doc and Happy be the same one? Anyway, doesn't matter.
Should be.
So all of the Greek gods basically have domains in which they are controlling, basically. Zeus is the sky and is the king of the gods and has, like, lightning and stuff like that. His wife, he's always unfaithful to, despite the fact that she is the goddess of marriage, which really fucking sucks. And like,
Good.
Greek mythology is just, like, super interesting because Greek mythology is kind of all about this, like, pantheon and then the characters that spin off of it. Every, like, hero of Greek mythology, because heroes are incredibly important to Greek mythology, is usually, like, the son of a god or at least related to them in some way and have, like, incredible, like, monsters. You have Olympus, which is the home of the gods. You have Hades, who is the god of death, who is also has the underworld, which is called Hades. It's literally named after him, but he's also the god of riches because, like, you get all the gems and stuff from underneath the world.
That's like where we are right now.
Exactly.
What do you mean?
Yes.
This is called Adal Rifai.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
That makes sense.
Gives a quick text to James Woods. Lose this number. Thank you so much.
You also have Hades is probably one of my favorite figures in Greek mythology because of the story with his wife Persephone. If you know anything about Greek mythology, you've probably heard of the story of Hades and Persephone. It's the reason we have seasons in Greek mythology, which, again, like, all of these stories are about, like, why the things that exist in the world exist. So, like, explanations for season, explanations for, like, what thunder and lightning are.
Julia, if I just very quickly, if I may, I'm trying to help you make money.
Oh, yeah.
Is it worth opening an Etsy shop and selling a Hades and Persephone shirt that says the reason for the season?
Amazing. Truly would buy that shirt in a heartbeat. Why has Hadestown not made those shirts is my question. Because
actually, I'm looking at Tumblr
those
right now, and that idea has 200,000 notes.
That sounds
I don't even know
right.
how you posted that.
That sounds about right. Other, like, important stories from Greek mythology, there are so many because literally, again, like, all stories kind of come from Greek mythology, at least in the Western society. But, like, the Trojan War is something that we still talk about, the Iliad and the Odyssey. Basically, like, anything that you can think of in terms of stories probably I feel like the dad from My Big Fat Greek Wedding, where it's just like, if you say a word, any word, it's probably got origins in Greek. But, like, truly, like, if you were to take any story, I'm sure I could, like, pull a somewhat related Greek myth for you. And
Tombstone,
that's, like,
the movie.
Man, that truly is, like, kind of just the Trojan War, if you think about it.
Especially when those two really hot cowboys really seem like they're gonna kiss.
Yeah, they really do seem like they're gonna kiss. Also, just one of my favorite performances ever in a movie. So, like, that's something as well. I'm your Huckleberry. Anyway,
I love it when Ajax called his lover his Huckleberry and time.
I was gonna say, truly, like, if you think about it, the relationship between Achilles, who is Doc Holliday, and that other guy who can be like Ajax, or sorry, not Ajax, but Hector, would be very similar to Tombstone.
Yeah, for sure. Boom, that's 5 minutes.
Boom.
Thank you so much, Julia. Now, everyone in the amphitheater is going to stand and clap.
Yay! I bow and pledge this performance to Dionysus. Huzzah!
Incredible. Julia, I'm gonna rack up your score here. Yeah, you hit the important stuff. You got all three of those first notes because it's almost like you do this professionally in some way about how mythology is incredibly important about explaining so much about the world and about what we understand about storytelling and oral storytelling with the Iliad and the Odyssey. Also, the creation myth, you hit the first half. I was really waiting for the second half because the main story that we get from the Greeks is that sons hate their dads and have a lot of problems with that.
You know what? I would have spent so much time on the like strong cannibalism, but I feel like I didn't have enough time, and that's just one story out of all Greek mythology. I do love the part where they gamble to see who gets what, and poor Hades is like, well, fuck, I guess I'll take the underworld then. Jesus.
He's like, well, it's your fault for me being the last person you pulled out of my dad. That feels really weird.
I was the oldest child. What the fuck?
I learned it from eating you, Dad.
Can I say something? In the Wikipedia, it's funny you said that. This is literally a sentence I copied from Wikipedia. The motif of father against son conflict was repeated when Kronos was confronted by his son Zeus. So yeah, exactly. That's a perfect quote.
Well, because he did that to his dad. He castrated his own father.
Yeah.
I love that Zeus told Kronos, eat rocks.
Yeah. Well, more his mom did that, but like, yeah, man, he really did make him eat some rocks, huh?
It's like, I'm going to smuggle you eating rocks. And then, you hit the majority of the gods. I think the one that you missed, you might have hit Ares and then Hades you hit later. But I think you hit all 13 eventually in the conversation you had. And you also hit Hestia, which I wasn't anticipating.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? Hades isn't technically an Olympian. He's a chthonic god. So, like, he doesn't get counted among the, 12 Olympians because he is so separate from, the shit that happens up on the land. It's really, one of those things where in a sitcom, you have that one relative who is like, I don't want to be involved in any of your nonsense. Please just leave me alone. I just want to do my job, which is basically taxes for dead people. Please leave me alone.
I think if there was, speaking of sitcom, there has to be if we could make Friends, but it's Dionysus and Hera and whoever else. And Hades is always banging with a broom handle on his ceiling, being
Stop
shut
it.
up.
Stop making so much noise.
I think that has an audience somewhere, right? There's an appetite for that somewhere.
I would read that web comic or whatever that would end up being.
Yes, sounds tantalizing to me.
I'm scrolling to another post on Tumblr promoting this webcomic. It has 2 million notes. Congratulations.
Yep, there we go. We did it.
Honestly, the main things you were missing, because you also hit these there are actually different ages of these stories. One you said about the gods and humans interacting, and that thing about how most heroes are from a god hooking up with a human, and it always goes badly for the human. And then of course, and more stories from the heroic age. The thing I wanted to drill down on a little bit, the only stuff that I was missing was about eventually this getting ported over to Roman times, and then also everyone in the West in the late 19th and 20th century getting super into it, and get the interest of the West. As soon as our understanding of the quote unquote Western classics, they were all super inspired by Ovid, Homer, the Greek tragedies, and I mean John Milton wrote fan fiction about it.
So did Shakespeare.
Yeah, Shakespeare also wrote a bunch of fan fiction about it as well. But you ended up getting 7 out of 10 points, which is absolutely incredible.
I'll take it.
Wow, Julia, it's such a bummer you didn't hit all 10 because you had 5 minutes, even though I interrupted you midstream to pitch a t-shirt.
Yeah, listen, man. I liked it, though. I'd still wear it if I had the option.
Yeah, we did spend 3 minutes talking about Tombstone, and that's your fault, Julia.
That is my fault. I'm sorry.
You really shoehorned that in.
I did. I was like, you know what? I really, really need to talk about Tombstone.
Well, Sam Elliott is a Greek god himself, if you've ever seen him with his shirt off.
That's true.
So 7 out of 10, very impressive. That's a score of mythic proportions. Julia, I have a few bonus questions for you here if you'd like to play for some extra points.
Always.
Question number 1. Can you remind me of any song from the band Sugar Ray?
God, I wish I could name any Sugar Ray song right now, truly.
Julia, this might come as a shock. That is the only correct answer.
Okay, good.
God, I wish I could think of any Sugar Ray song right now. Nobody
Every
can.
morning there's Poseidon hanging from the corner of my Grecian four-post bed.
That is one. That is truly a Sugar Ray song. That's
I just want to fly really close. We're really close to the sun. I know it's two. I do too.
good. You know what? I drank the water from the river that takes away my memories before I cross over into the underworld, just so that I could forget every Sugar Ray song.
Smart. No, that's smart. That's worth the
smart.
pennies on the eyes.
Yeah.
So we'll give 20 points for that.
Wonderful.
Question number 2. You live in New York, is that correct?
I do.
Perfect. Welcome to my island. Julia, I believe it's in Harlem Theater, I want to say. Do you know the Apollo Theater?
I am aware of the Apollo Theater, yes.
Famously, at the Apollo Theater, whenever somebody goes on to perform, before they go on stage, they rub something for good luck. Do you know what they rub?
Man, all I can think of now is Uranus's castrated penis, and that's simply all I could possibly think of.
Julia, can I blow your mind? That is the only right answer.
Yeah!
Uranus's castrated penis. That's what they rub.
And then Aphrodite comes out of it and is like, sea foam! That's a Greek mythology joke.
Thank you so
that's
much.
good.
Wearing an
That's
Afro
good.
90. Let's give 100 points for that.
For sure.
And then final question, Julia, and there's really no right or wrong answer. Have you seen The Burnt City yet?
Have I seen The Burnt City? I haven't.
Okay, it's an immersive show in London.
Okay. I have never been to
involving
London,
mythology.
so the point for me.
It's by the creators of Sleep No More. It's maybe the best thing you'll ever see. And my favorite character to follow is Persephone.
Wonderful. I mean, I would follow her anywhere. Going back to Greek mythology queer Julia, I had such a not crush. I wanted to be Persephone, which was interesting and weird, and also explains a lot about me as a person now that I'm a full-grown adult and examining that with my therapist. So I would also follow her to both the underworld and back. So.
Well, if you ever want to pay a less steep price, go to London and see The Burnt City.
That's fair. I do want to return back from the underworld. So
I also want to say that your most billionaire trait, Mr. Rifai, is how many immersive theater pieces you've seen.
Thank you so much. I love punch drunk performances because I can wear a mask and no one's clamoring me, asking for donations or help with their operations, whatever they may be, Dumbo drop or otherwise. So it's just nice to wear a mask and be anonymous.
Yeah.
should I ask if this is an immersive theater experience right now? Or would that be taking us out of the experience and I shouldn't ask that question?
Cut.
Just damn it.
All right, everyone, actors back to one.
Fuck.
Julia, you were supposed to turn around and there was a woman covered in blood who's going to pull you into a closet and give you a really quick retelling of Alice in Wonderland within 5 minutes.
Okay.
And you missed it.
Welcome to Tell Me About It, a game show about proving the things you love. I can't. Everyone, everyone go to the box office for refunds. Yeah, go ahead and file out. We're gonna chalk this up to rehearsal and keep going. Sorry about
I've been
that.
in here for 12 hours.
I don't care. That's on you. Okay.
I'll put my mask back on. I'm sorry.
I don't know where my family is. We came in here in the morning.
Oh, they left you.
No.
Well, Eric, it seems like no one is really touching the cooked sun that I presented for dinner. So why don't we go ahead and take away that course and bring on over course 2?
Absolutely. We are over to course number 2. And with Julia, you have 127 points coming into round number 2. This is the perfect thing. What is a perfect encapsulation of Greek mythology? If someone asked you, Julia, well, what's an example of why you love Greek mythology so much? What would you say? A little bit more specific for this particular topic. This could be a myth or a person or a god, whatever you want.
This is an extremely difficult question. I am going to choose a fact that perfectly encapsulates why Greek mythology is the best. And Greek mythology is the best because when you distill them down to their absolute, just intrinsic value, it is that humans have always been humans since the beginning of time. And that's my favorite thing about mythology in general, but particularly highlighted for me in Greek mythology. And Mr. Rifai, you obviously know of Cerberus, the guardian three-headed dog of the underworld.
Yes, of course. Yes. Also known as Garm in some sects, I believe.
Oh, interesting.
Sorry, in some sects, I believe, when I roleplay.
So the name Cerberus, do you know what that translates to into modern English?
Cerberus, I believe that stands for comical aardvark.
Interesting. What I've seen, at least, from scholars, though
Good. Yeah, don't tell him he's wrong. He needs to be the most delicate gloves. Please.
Kid gloves, even.
Now, the name Cerberus, according to some scholars, is translated to mottled or brindled, which, if we're going to use a more common parlance, would be spotted. So,
well, sorry, I don't think you can. The common parlance sounds like an oxymoron.
Well, I'll say it anyway. So Hades, lord of the underworld, god of death himself, named his big bad guard dog Spot.
Wow, that is outstanding.
It's like truly one of my favorite Greek mythology facts. It's like if someone's like, "Hey, what do you know about history?" I'm like, "So, let me tell you about this dog."
It's like, here's the thing about this monster. Even so, it has three heads, right? Mm-hmm. Still a dog, though. Still certainly a dog.
Still certainly a dog. Got a tail? It's a snake. Still a dog, though.
Still a dog. The snake wags really fast when you bring home Greek meat for you. You bring home souvlaki.
Seder sacks.
What a nightmare. 3 mouths and only 1 butthole. Can you imagine the shits this dog was taking? Unbelievable.
I feel like
22 pounds of meat a day.
Would you say that they were hellish?
Absolutely. and also a little known fun fact that I like to drop at parties is Cerberus was also the inspiration for a very famous commercial, or actually I believe it was a holiday song first, which is whoa, 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 whoa. Those are each of the heads barking one after another, forming some amount of harmony. Mm-hmm. So that's a fun little factoid you can drop around.
I love it. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
There's nothing better than a chorus.
This was when Greek mythology got brought to the Roman Empire, then it got mixed in with Christianity around that time. Yeah.
Constantine.
Yeah. Constantine was like, you know what would be great? If Cerberus the dog barked out this stuff for this winter holiday we got cooking.
Yeah, that was the national anthem of Constantinople.
That's why they renamed it
Istanbul. They might be giants. Well, some of them were giants, some were titans.
That's true.
Julia, what a phenomenal fact. What a delightful anecdote, to use a common parlance. I'm going to say 1,000 points for that, because now I feel like this is knowledge I did not previously have, and that is truly something, because I was a road scholar, I was an alley scholar, I was a boat scholar, highway scholar. Thank you so much. I was a highway scholar, revisited 61, Bob Dylan. 1,000 points is what it's worth.
Fantastic. Yeah, you can use that at all your extremely fancy parties, when there's a lull, an awkward silence. You could be like, hey, about this dog, though. When
the Mad Hatter is standing behind you, breathing hard, in a room with no light, you can say, did you know Cerberus actually means spot? Pretty cool.
Yes, I'll drop that story during a lull, which is when someone's laughing out loud, just to put fuel on the fire, I think.
Yeah.
Julia, for a bonus question, can you remind me, there's a famous woman who allegedly, Greek mythology is basically like the birth of gossip. Mm-hmm. So in the form of gossip, can you believe a certain woman who lives in our neighborhood? I need you to say the name. Mm-hmm. I heard a friend's cousin told me she laid 2 eggs, and from those 2 eggs, 4 children were born. Do you think that's real? And I heard the children were named Helen of Troy, which doesn't make sense because she's a baby. Clytemnestra, Castor and Pollux, I want to say. Do you know this woman's name?
Oh my gosh, did you hear she also fucked a swan, though?
I didn't want to say.
You didn't want to say.
I didn't want to say.
She totally did.
Because there's some nasty business surrounding that. But yeah, I heard she fucked a swan.
Everyone's looking down at their phone, being like, this episode of Normal Gossip's fucking wild, man.
And obviously, it sounds like you know it. Can we hear that woman's name?
I mean, like, you know it's Lita, right? Like,
yes, follow the Lita.
Mm-hmm. I heard that swan wasn't even that hot, though.
That's what I heard too. I also
heard
a
middling swan.
Totally mid-life crisis. I also heard he once had sex with someone posing as Golden Rain.
Yeah.
Which we all know what Golden Rain is.
Yeah, we all know what that means. But I heard Perseus totally was born after that. And like she claimed that it was actually her husband's baby, but it totally wasn't. So he locked them both in a chest and set them to sea.
Yikes, bites.
I don't like it. Oh,
And he's
gross.
always had problems with women ever since then. So, yeah.
Oh, yes. Well, he has an Oedipus complex.
Yeah. He sure
Man, you
does.
should have heard about my second cousin who had sex with a bull and then made a maze because it was too awkward to deal with. It was wild. It was crazy.
To be fair, it was an extremely hot bull.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was an extremely complex maze.
It was an extremely complex maze also.
To be
But, like,
honest
you
with
can't
you,
blame her.
it was a really good maze, though.
I don't know. It wasn't a full bowl. It was sort of a mix. It was hot on the top, hot on the bottom, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Hot on the
yeah.
top, sexy on the bottom. Greek mythology is truly the original gossip. Thank you so much for... It is wild that Zeus posed as Golden Rain to seduce a woman. That is... It's hot. We're talking about hot piss.
Yeah.
Hot
That's
piss.
hot piss.
Hot piss. 500 points for me, for you having to listen to me exclaim hot piss over and over.
That's the proper number of points. That if I consult the rule book, that's the right one. No.
It's hot for every amount of times you said hot.
Yes, exactly. Hey, it's Eric, just sneaking around in the Tell Me About It butler pantry so that no one can talk to me. No one tells me what to do. I can just talk to you without anyone looking at me. Hi, how was your day? You look great. Love it. Hey, if any of you listeners are in Europe, I'm doing a live show coming up pretty soon, August 19th at 7:30 at the Empty Space in Manchester, UK. I think you're really going to like it. It was me and Jasper Cartwright, who you might know about, and Amanda McLaughlin, who you remember from this podcast. Go if you have something to do, you want something to do next Saturday, come check it out. And you live in Europe, show me what those trains do. Gamesandfeelings.com/live is the link for you to check out if you want to go see that. Also, if you want, tell me about it to do a live show, maybe in your neck of the woods, probably Chicago, I could definitely peer pressure Adal into doing a live show there. So definitely hit me up, send us emails or tweet at me or whatever if that's what you'd like. I hope you're enjoying the ad-free episodes at patreon.com/TMAIpod. A lot of you are, including our newest patron, Lauren, who just joined at the annual rate, which we just added to the Patreon. You get 12 months of Patreon for the price of 10. Also, everyone should definitely check their Patreon because Patreon kind of boofed it recently. They accidentally canceled a bunch of people's pledges. So make sure that you double check that. Just go in your accounts and not just for us, but for everyone. Just go check it out. We have more wonderful shows here at Multitude. I think you'll really like Games and Feelings, which is an advice show about games that I run. We answer your questions at the intersection of fun and humanity. Because, you got to play games with other people. And because, other people cause drama. And then you got to write in and ask us for your help. And we're more than happy to help you. And we're talking every single type of game, video games, tabletop games, party games, laser tag, escape rooms, quizzes, game streams, D&D podcasts, the companies and workers that make these games, anything you can think of. If you like what you hear and you want to level up your emotional intelligence stat, just subscribe to Games and Feelings wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes every single Friday. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Sometimes in life, we're faced with tough choices, and the path forward isn't really clear. Obviously, just being alive in the 21st century is confusing and complicated. You're not sure what's the right thing to do. There's not really any institutional knowledge because your parents have no idea what you're going through. No one's really excited to mentor anyone else and they're pulling the ladder behind you. And there's no morality anymore too. The 21st century is kind of just making sure that your path of the world is good, but what examples are we supposed to look at? And when figuring that stuff out, it'd be nice to have someone to talk to. Whether you're dealing with decisions around career, relationships, or anything else, therapy helps you stay connected to what you really want while you navigate life, so you can move forward with confidence and excitement. If you think therapy can help you do that, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you got to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. Switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Make sure that this works for you. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/TMAI today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TMAI. And now, back to the show.
Well, speaking of hot, it's getting a little hot in here. In fact, I think I see Cerberus with its 3 heads. Speaking of 3, Eric, why don't you take us on over to round 3?
Absolutely. Julia, you're coming in with MDCXXVII points, which of course is 1,627. It's for you. I knew what it was, and I'm not looking at a Roman numeral calculator. I don't know why you would say that in the first place.
I don't do that weekly at all. Yeah.
No, absolutely not. Well, that's why we're going over to round 3, the question and answer portion. Julia, we have some follow-up questions for you, and they will be the gotcha questions that the fates warned you about. Please answer as many as possible.
Oh, I'm falling prone to my prophecy now. It's my hubris.
Well, I am a bit of an oracle, or I invested with the Oracle of Omaha back in the early days. Question number 1, Julia, how did you manage to extend your mythology phase from middle school to now?
I refused to be cringe, and so I just embraced the things that I loved as a child still. Did that answer the question?
Absolutely.
Did a teenager from 2022 go back in time and point out 7-year-old you and be like, you're being cringe, and then immediately hopped into back into their DeLorean, and then you're like, no, I'm not going to take that on, no.
No,
Marty, we have to go back. It's not you. It's your kids. They're cringe.
Marvin, this is your cousin, Marvin TikTok. Are you that new sound you've been looking for?
Hey, Edith, it's your cousin, Linda Hamilton. You know that mythology you were looking for? Hold on, shit, someone's after me. Hold on, I gotta hang up. Someone's after me.
Now I'm picturing Edith Hamilton, who is like notorious, probably lesbian, with just like the most ripped arms ever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She buff. Perfect answer. No notes.
Thank you.
In fact, another 1,000 points for that.
Wonderful.
Immediately. No time to wait to the end round. Julia, question number 2. Who puts the glad in Gladiator?
Hercules.
Thank you so much.
Yep, you got it.
Or do you think and this might be news already. I try and stay off social media, except for Tumblr, of course. Mm-hmm. Is there or should there be a live action version of Disney's Hercules?
They're currently in production for that. Wow. I think what they should do instead is just release the full... Have you seen these videos where they used like actual models to help with the animation for the animated Hercules?
No.
I think they should just release that whole video, like from start to finish of the movie, with just like the live action Fates dancing, and then everything else stays animated. I think that would be ideal.
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm. I'm just surprised that it hasn't been one of the Disney movies that ended up on Broadway. Because, I mean, if we're taking that wizard show and we're taking all of the wonderful stagecraft that's been a part of that and applying it to, like, creating the Hydra, imagine that. That would be wild. And then having the Muses dance and then having Danny DeVito on Broadway again, it would be incredible.
You know what, Eric? They did at the Public for Shakespeare in the Park, I think, a while back, maybe like 7 or 8 years ago. They did a production of Disney's Hercules live action, and it was pretty freaking good. Like from like the videos that I've seen, like the little clips, but like it was great. Roger Bart played Hades, and it was wild.
Delicious. Eric, you said something earlier. I just had to respond. Hail Hydra.
Oh,
of course.
Hey, can I just say it to you really quietly?
Hail Hydra. Also, Julia, I was a investor, and I saw nary a return in Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief musical. So it was better than I thought it was going to be, but still no return for Daddy.
That sure was a thing that existed, huh?
Julia, for a bonus point right now, would you mind casting 3 to 5 roles in a live-action Hercules Disney movie?
Well, I'm going to stick with Roger Bart as Hades because I think he would do a fantastic job. And they should also like give him a musical number in the live action rather than it just be James Woods being horrible.
Yes, of course. Hades nuts, maybe? Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Hot piss. Give her another 1,000 points.
Another 1,000 points. What's the point of being rich if you can't just give them hush points?
Hot piss. Yeah.
Hush points, yeah.
I think you would have to do Danny DeVito again in a live action. I don't think you could cast anyone else. I think if Disney tried to, they'd use David Harbour and they would be wrong.
Yes.
Wow.
I think Danny DeVito in that role is like Eddie Murphy as Mushu, where it's like no one else comes even close, so don't even try.
Yes. Well, that's why for the live action Mulan, they just cut the character of Mushu because they're like, we're not even going to try.
Well,
like,
famously,
why bother?
Yeah, famously, Mushu kept getting standing ovations because he'd say, Hercules, Hercules, Hercules. And they felt like that was detracting from the musical dubbers.
Yeah. That'll do it. That'll do it. And then let me think. I'm trying to think of what extremely hot lady could play Meg right now. Would it be like Ariana DeBose, maybe? Like,
that'd be
fun.
fun.
She would be really good as that. And like, it would crush Can't Say I'm in Love, which would be fantastic. I honestly cannot possibly think of someone to play Hercules because they would have to use the like Captain America technology on this person for like, shrinking down Steve Rogers and then making him buff. So that would be a whole experience there. I saw someone say like Timothée Chalamet should play Hercules and I was like, no, don't do that.
Just for the part where Hercules is a baby.
Yeah, no, like they'd have to use the opposite technology where he would be like baby Hercules and then they would have to use CGI to make him extremely buff.
Yeah, he has the upper body strength of an IKEA bookshelf. I would not...
And when you forget a bunch of the pieces of the IKEA bookshelf as well.
And can I just say, a Chalamet is so hard to put together. Yeah. So I feel, when I bought my Chalamet, I feel like there was, several pieces missing. I had to call the hotline. It's just so, it's more work than you think. They
said in the instructions you needed 3 people. Like, what is
That's what I heard. And I also heard that my Chalamet is giving everyone gonorrhea. Just come on, dude.
Yikes, bro.
I'm telling you, that's why you got to go to West Elm and get yourself a Zendaya. It's the perfect thing to put your lamp on.
Wow. Zendaya also would make a good Meg.
Zendaya would make a good Meg.
I think we found it.
There we go.
Another 1,000 points for that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Your third and final question. What is your favorite piece of media that is inspired by Greek mythology or has Greek mythology in it? Mine, of course, is the aforementioned The Burnt City in London. Please check out The Burnt City in London, The Burnt City in London. Closing soon.
They're paying for every mention.
Yes.
Mine is Kingdom Hearts 2, where you can fight in Hercules' Coliseum.
Not the first one, where you could also fight in Hercules' Coliseum?
No, because you can lock on in Kingdom Hearts 2. That's why I like it more.
Yeah.
Mine is the menu, where they flash across a newspaper for 0.0 seconds and say tantalizing, which of course comes from Tantalus.
Yes. Actually, I think that's supposed to be what his restaurant's name is Tantalus. In that newspaper clipping. I watched that movie way too many times.
Mine is when I spend too much time in the mirror and my wife calls me a narcissist.
A classic.
You have a wife?
She was on the show. You don't remember anything about me.
I think it's just a rock that he kind of carved into. He carved a face into the rock that he's been pushing up this hill, and he calls it his wife.
Yeah, and I heard he begged a goddess to bring the statue or the rock to life, and the goddess was like, "This is so sad. Let me do it for like a little bit," and then he fell in love with the statue.
Oh, Eric Malian, poor Eric Malian.
Babe, you and me were ride or die. Now help me push you up this 15-degree hill.
There he goes, pushing his wife up a hill again.
The old big ball and chain.
So I feel like this is a tough question, and I think it's going to be a tie for me. So it used to be Hadestown. And this is going to sound so fucking like hipster, but I saw it when it was at the New York Theater Workshop, and it was amazing. I went by myself. I got front row tickets. One of the muses gave me champagne halfway through the show because I winked at her. It was like a wonderful experience. I was just like sobbing by myself for the last 20 minutes. It was great.
And the audience was like on the stage, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So
it was like kind of theater in the round style. And like, so they would like come over to you and like interact with you and stuff. It was great.
I've heard about this. I'm trying to make you sound less pretentious.
Yes.
Because of how very specific this show was.
Yes. And it was like direct from the concept album and stuff like that. It was wonderful. I lost a lot of love for it when I saw the Broadway production.
Oh, no.
Because they made a lot of changes that I wasn't like super thrilled with. And they kind of like simplified the plot, in my opinion, and like also simplified a lot of the lyrics that I really loved.
It was also like 2016 by that time, and it's just like Hades is Trump. That's it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Why do we build the wall?
Yeah, exactly. It was really, really explicit.
So at that point, I think my favorite piece of Greek mythology media has to be the video game Hades. It just has to be. Like, it is a fantastic read on all of the gods. It is a really interesting portrayal of the underworld and the relationship between Hades and Persephone, and it's just an amazing game. Like, truly great. I'm looking forward to the sequel so much.
I have to ask, weapon of choice, as Fatboy Slim might say?
I usually did the shield with the aspect of Zeus, so you could like throw it and would spin in place, and then you could like also like do some punches while it's spinning in place. That was my go-to for sure.
Pretty great. Always love a ranged weapon.
I do too.
Absolutely.
Another 1,000 points.
I still cannot believe the moment where you're like, oh, there's a gun in this game? Cool.
Cool. And it's Lucifer's gun? Sick.
Great.
Bruh.
Awesome.
Sounds like a Ween album.
Yeah,
Eric,
Teenage Dirtbag was on Lucifer's gun. I loved it.
I think that's sweetest.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Have more chocolate and cheese, Eric. While you're snacking on those hors d'oeuvres, why don't you go ahead and tally up Julia's points so far?
That's 3,000 more points, Julia. You're up to 4,627 points.
Nice.
Lots of it.
Wow.
All right, well, now we're over to round 4, which is the Wheel of Extraordinary Challenges.
Woo!
Yes, that's right, Julia. I've instructed my manservant to prepare a few wacky minigames here to test your intellectual and creative mettle. Eric, what do we have today?
We're playing the game. It's all roar, blub, blub, blub to me.
Was that my Nespresso machine again?
That was the Keurig. Yeah, the Keurig.
I'm sorry, the Keurig. I have one of each. I'm rich. On my birthday, I have 2 cakes.
It's very impressive. I have summarized 7 Greek myths for both of you that involve the gods turning humans into animals. Each of you are going to write down which animal you think this Greek god has turned this human into.
Eric, if I may. Sorry, I'm just so excited I couldn't even bring forth words.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. And you will be going head to head. So I want to see what happens. If neither of you get the animal, whoever is closest will get the point.
Wonderful.
Wow, that'll be very interesting.
And don't worry, both of you can be close if you come from different angles on the thing.
That is true.
For sure.
No Price is Right rules when it comes to animals.
No Price is Right rules. It's just,
I'm going to go 1 over.
1 ear over.
Eric, you just made me realize, my good friend, Trent Reznor was singing about Zeus when he said, I want to fuck you like an animal.
He was.
Yeah.
That's basically, if Zeus were like in the WWE, that would be his entrance music.
It would be.
He would have to get Trent, your good friend Trent, to rewrite it because it's more like, I want to fuck you and then turn you into an animal.
Right.
Yes.
Or I want to fuck you as an animal is also
I want to
Zeus's
fuck
MO.
you as an animal. Yes. If only my good friend Aaron Sorkin would relinquish control of Trent, I could put him to work for more songs, but he's been too busy with Sorkin.
Imagine it's like Shawn Michaels' Sexy Boy, but it's I want to fuck you
I think
like
I'm
an
Zeus.
animal.
I know I'm sexy.
All right, here is number...
I'm not your Troy toy.
Toy.
Here is myth number 1. There was a woman with legendary weaving skills. When people saw her tapestries, they always told her she was blessed by Athena, who is the patron god of weaving. However, the woman didn't believe that she owed anything to the goddess. Athena heard that, was pissed, and came down to her workshop and challenged her to a contest. In the end, it was a tie. Both works were flawless, but Athena was so pissed that she tore
How
up the
pissed
woman.
was she?
She was She was so pissed that she tore up the human woman's work and hit her 3 times on the head. The woman was so upset that she hung herself. And Athena, but right before she died, Athena felt so bad that she turned the woman.
How bad did she feel? Sorry.
She felt so bad that she turned the woman into a blank.
I also like that the beginning of that question sounded like the beginning of Moulin Rouge. There was a girl, a very special girl.
Julia, as our guest, what kind of animal did this woman get turned into?
It's going to be a spider, bruh.
That's a spider. Mr. Rifai, what do you have?
I got spider, bruh.
Spider bruh. Absolutely.
bruh.
Across the spider bruh. Number one spider. Yes,
Thank
I'm
you
easing
so
you
much.
in.
Just found out there's different edits of that all over the world.
I also heard that.
Which is incredible. Maybe a well-known fact. Did you know that when she was weaving her tapestries, she wove in all sorts of fuck yous to the gods?
Yeah.
Pretty great.
It's
Pretty
like, hey,
cool.
you and all your siblings fucking suck. I'm going to put it on a needlepoint. Yes, that is the story of Arachne. I'm easing y'all in. Okay. Number 2, Zeus was not the only god who loved to cheat on his spouse. Aphrodite frequently cheated on her husband Hephaestus with Ares, the god of war. Ares had a servant named Electron who kept guard. But one night, Electron fell asleep, allowing Helios, god of the sun, to see them and tell Hephaestus. Ares was so pissed at Electron that he turned him into a blank. All right, Mr. Rifai, what do you got?
This feels like, what's that game show where you have to... He was so hungry, he could eat a blank.
I know we're going
Survey
over to...
says. Yeah.
Thank you. Top 5 answers on the board. I think he was so pissed that he turned Electron into a neuron.
Good. Julia, what do you have?
It's a rooster. He turned him into a rooster. And that's why roosters crow when they see the sun.
Exactly. This one is a real, that's why this happens myth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm firing on all neurons.
That's 2 points for Julia, and Mr. Rifai stays at 1. Here is myth number 3. Some pirates kidnapped Dionysus when he came down to the human realm and pretended he was just a wonderful young man who loved to kiss and drink wine.
Same.
Yeah, it's true. The ship's pilot, Acestes, sensed that this was actually a god in disguise and tried to stop the pirate crew. However, being pirates, they didn't care. And finally, Dionysus revealed his true identity, filling the ships with, quote, vines and beasts, which I find very, very funny. The pirates tried to run away and jumped into the sea. As they jumped, they were transformed into blanks, and Acestes was the only one spared. What was the animal that the majority of the pirates were turned into?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
Vines and beasts. I fell in love with you, vines and beasts.
Julia, what do you think?
I don't think I know this one, but I'm going to guess crabs.
Crabs is good. Water theme, very good.
Yeah.
Mr. Rifai.
I wrote Lisa Frankfolders, a.k.a. dolphins.
Bang, bang, bang.
It is
Mr.
a dolphin.
Rifai.
Dang.
You shot me. What the fuck? Lucifer's gun. Well, famously, if Lucifer's gun proposes that if a gun is introduced in a podcast, it must be fired at some point.
It's been on the wall the entire show. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to.
No. It's good. Luckily, all 3 bullets shot directly at my heart. And of course, today my heart shrank 5 sizes. So I'm good. I don't think it hit anything important.
Because Dionysus was involved, it might be hot pink, but they were in fact dolphins.
Yeah,
Which it might be because like you can find dolphins like in the Aegean Sea. That might be part of it. All right, this is myth number 4. We're tied 2-2. There was a princess who vowed to be a virgin forever, just like her patron goddess, Artemis. However, Zeus immediately slept with her and left her pregnant. Artemis, as well as his wife Hera, were super pissed, and they turned the princess into a blank. But don't worry, when the human princess and Zeus's son eventually came upon his mother as turned into this animal, Zeus also turned the son into this animal so they could be together forever. Mm-hmm. What is that animal?
I don't know if I know this, but I have to take a stab and guess one of my favorite animals, and that would be an Eric Silver.
Aw, sweet. Close, honestly, very close.
Yeah, very close.
Very close. Julia, do you know what it is?
It's a bear.
They're
That's
bears.
Callisto.
That's right. This is actually,
Yes.
and because Zeus also felt super bad, he took both the mother and the son and put them in the stars. So that was Ursa Major and Minor.
Yep.
That sounds like a mob threat. I'm going to put you in the stars.
I'm going to put you in the stars, baby.
Yeah, see?
There's a lot of the constellations have stories like this, and the gods are like, wow, I appreciate you so much. You're going going to be in the stars forever. That doesn't sound nice. I'd rather still be human and alive.
Well, they usually die, so they're just like, ooh, my bad. Sorry you died tragically. Let me put you in the stars so no one forgets you.
Let me eternalize you. Did Iphigenia turn into a bear as well?
In some stories, yes.
Okay.
In the cases where Artemis saves her from being sacrificed, rather than her actually being killed by Agamemnon, she is transformed into a bear or becomes one of Artemis's worshippers.
Julia, immediate bonus follow-up question, even though
Yes.
we're going head-to-head right now as we
That's
speak. Would you visit my food truck if it was called Agamemnon Nom Nom Nom?
Absolutely. I love food trucks, and that sounds hilarious.
Another 1,000 points to Julia.
Wonderful.
Another 1,000 points, writing it down.
But turn her into a penguin.
All right, Julia is a penguin for the rest of this episode.
Can I be a puffin?
Yeah, close enough.
All right, you
cool.
can be a puffin. So Julia is now a puffin. Imagine that in your mind's eye. And Mr. Rifai is the same. Just so everyone knows. Number 5. Let's go all the way back to when Zeus and Hera were supposed to be married. Everyone was invited to the wedding. Now, one woman decided not to go to the wedding and actually mocked what was happening, which makes sense because maybe she knew that Zeus was going to perpetually cheat on Hera. However, Zeus and Hera were pissed about it and sent Hermes to this woman who changed her into the animal that bore her name. What? And it's not boar. Mr. Rifai, I know you're going to say it was going to be a boar. It's not a boar. What animal? What animal is this woman?
Oh, this is hard because I think there's a couple of different versions of this story. And a lot of them are ones that associate like a certain animal with Hera. So I'm going to say it was the cuckoo bird.
Ooh, pretty good, pretty good.
I might be mistaken about the bird.
A cuckoo bird does seem like a punishment too, so let's see.
Yeah, I bought one of those clocks in Bavaria. It is an absolute punishment. Would not shut up. I don't know if this is correct. There's a similar story, and I might be thinking of that similar story versus this story.
There are a lot of stories where Zeus and Hera are pissed at someone and then turn them into an animal. You're 100% correct.
Yeah, we could stop it. There's a lot of stories, period.
There are a lot of stories, period, yeah.
I think this is a tortuousy.
Yes, it is! Bang!
Wow.
Mr. Oh, God, I shot the gun in the air again.
No, it's fine. Oh. Ooh, it's in my brain.
Wait, up there, no.
Wait. Everyone shut up. I know piano. Oh my God. I know piano. Oh, I lost it. It's gone.
Oh, it's
shit.
fine. It's fine.
Momentarily gifted by Apollo with his music.
Yeah,
but
Apollo
not
was
right
like, cool bullet in your brain, bruv, and then told you how to play piano. That's
Damn.
33. This is great. Well, this is all tied up. Let's go to story number 6. Asteria is a star goddess, the sister of Leto and the mother of Hecate, who caught the eye of Zeus. However, she didn't want to hook up with him, so she ran away. Asteria, being a goddess herself, she didn't have someone else turn her into an animal. She turned herself into this animal to get away from Zeus's advances. Oh, and also she flung herself into the sea.
Oh, classic.
I believe Asteria was so upset that she turned herself into the NYC borough Astoria.
She was a queen, and therefore she became queens. Very good.
Yes. And that's where we get Coming to America, the movie and the phrase.
That's right. Julia, what do you have?
Now, I remember that it was a bird. I think it's a quail.
Absolutely. I'm shooting the gun in the air so no one gets
Thank
hurt.
you.
Bang, bang,
Oh,
bang.
ricochet, back of the brain. Wait. I know Latin. No, I lost it.
That's fine. All right, incredible. Yeah, she turned herself into a quail and threw herself into the sea.
I think it's because Zeus was also a bird. He's usually an eagle when he's a bird, unless he's a swan and he's fucking. But usually if he's a bird, the other person will transform into a bird. It's a whole thing. I don't know.
Yeah, just like in The Notebook.
I'm a bird, you're a bird.
If a god turns me into a bird, then I'm a bird too.
Yeah,
I'm a swan, you're a human. Let's fuck.
And make 2 eggs.
All right, this is 4-3. It's still very close. Mr. Rifai, you can absolutely still tie it up with this last myth. Perfect. While looking for Persephone, this is when Persephone disappeared and hung out with Hades and no one knew what she was. I know which
one this is.
Yes, Demeter came to a town where she was offered a cup of water. Exhausted as she was, she drank clumsily and spilled a bunch of water all over herself. And a young man named Ascalabus made fun of her. So Demeter turned him into a blank.
Well, it's being a rascalibus. What animal is a rascal, but maybe a little raccoon or an otter? Otters, of course, break little oysters on their tummy and slurp them down, and it's so cute. Excalibus, maybe Sword in the Stone, Excalibur. Turn him into a burr, which is how some people might say bear.
Bear again?
Bear again.
Bear again?
Secondary bear, yeah.
All right, Julia, do you have this one?
I believe it's a gecko.
It is a gecko!
Yeah.
Wow, and that's where we get insurance rates.
Yes, because that one guy laughed at Demeter like a schoolyard bully. Hey, you don't know how to drink.
That's where we got Sobe Life Water from. Sobe Life Water.
And then Demeter was like, hey, everyone, it's the boy who likes to laugh at everyone. Let's laugh at him.
You know, it's funny that you say that because from this myth, it was tradition with Greek people to kill geckos. If you killed geckos wherever you saw them, you were gaining the favor of Demeter.
Better harvest if you kill all the geckos.
Exactly.
Which my reaction in hearing that story for the first time was like, there's geckos in Greece?
Not anymore, there isn't.
Nah,
That's like when St. Patrick took all the snakes out of Ireland. Except it was a community effort this time. We all killed the geckos. Incredible. This was I am really surprised at the answers from both of you that you nailed this, because I had not heard a lot about these myths. Also, there's an entire Wikipedia page called Animal Transformations in Greek Mythology, and it is split between non-avian and avian animals.
Sure is. It's birds a lot of the time.
Mostly
bro.
birds, yeah.
There's also a whole Wikipedia page on like people that got turned into plants by the gods.
Yeah, that's below it. There were also like objects and plants and other people, other genders. It was really funny.
My favorite's Cleite, who turned into a sunflower because she fell in love with Apollo, and Apollo was like, nah, I'm not into you. And so she like died just staring at the sun, and he was like, I feel bad. Sunflower now.
Yeah. So for all those high school boys out there, don't worry. The worst thing that could happen if you ask out your crush is that you get turned into a sunflower.
Well, I'm never eating sunflower seeds again. Those are probably her bones or teeth.
Yeah.
Probably.
So what's the final score of round 4, please, Eric?
Julia gets 71%. So you get 7 out of 10 points there.
Yay.
Wow, very nice. Julia, I'm not a poor sport. I'm, of course, going to congratulate you. Very good job. That was bullshit, but you won.
I loved your Lisa Frank Dolphins argument. That was
Thank you
great.
so much. Another 1,000 points to Julia.
I thought you were going to say to Lisa Frank, and I was like, yeah, fair.
And 1,000 points to Lisa Frank. But a few adjustments.
Okay.
First of all, Eric, minus 1,000 points to you, and we'll let's just transfer points to dollars. So minus $1,000 to your next paycheck for not including. I was so sure that you were going to include when Cersei turns, I want to say, a whole island of men into pigs.
Yes, I saw that one. I thought that I was going to give you one very well-known one, which was Arachne. Yes,
but that's some pretty badass Professor McGonagall shit. Shout out 1,000 points to Madeline Miller. So I'm very bummed. Also, Eric, another $1,000 / points away from you because I hate any sort of shapeshifting. I think shapeshifting is disgusting and unnatural. Anyone who plays a shapeshifter or involves themselves in shapeshifting is a coward. They're lazy. And I don't want to be involved with that. So for involving me, for making me muck like a pig in the mud with shapeshifters in general, $1,000 from you.
Well, as a billionaire, you don't fritter away your time by doing any sort of art. So I don't know what you're referring to.
Yes, I don't know either. Also, one final adjustment, just a quick little trim off the top. Let's go ahead and take away 2,000 points from Julia for beating me. Go ahead and...
That's fair.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's go ahead and end the show there before any further points.
Mr. Rifai, every time I have to tell you, there's one more.
Oh, is there something on my mouth?
Yes, it's an entire... You got to stop eating
sun
grape
soup
leaves.
on my... Oh, yes.
You have a whole mouthful of grape leaves while you're speaking. But we do have that one
I love
thing.
Dalma. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, that's right. For a final bonus point, you will answer this random trivia question about the world's most perfect film and, inspired by Greek mythology, Greece.
Oh, that's why it's called Greece.
Yeah.
Yes. The Zuko was a famed warrior who would ride atop a bird, a T-bird. Yeah, that's it, a thunderbird.
Well, if you think about it, Zeus and Zuko, very close together in terms of names.
Wow.
And like, it really kind of is just the story of Eros and Psyche, this plot of Greece, if you think about it.
Yes.
Does that explain why the car goes up into the sky at the end?
Yes, because
they
at the
ascend
end,
to the heavens.
Eros, they ascend to the heavens because Eros transforms Psyche into a full-blooded goddess rather than just being a mortal, and she ascends to godhood.
And Rise of the Pink Ladies was about the Titans. I understand.
Yes.
Yes, the
You got
unwatchable
it.
Titans. Yes, Olivia Newton-John ascends to goddess form by wearing tight black leather pants and smoking a cigarette.
Yes.
Here's your question. What famous actor turned down the role of Danny Zuko, otherwise known as Danny Zeus, for fear of being typecast and also because he could not sing?
Ooh, I feel like I know this one. Let me think about this.
To give you a few very small clues, they were famous at the time and are currently famous. And
Leather Jacket. Think of Leather Jacket.
Yes, and we're typecast.
I was going to say, is it the Fawns?
It is, yes.
It is the Fonz, Persephone himself, Henry Winkler. Outstanding job. And Julia, for a bonus point, I'm working on a screenplay to maybe do a table read about. It's Greece plus Greece. It's called Greece. It's Greece. Danny Zuko is Hades. Olivia Newton-John is Persephone, which I know is a little bit different than what you were saying the story involves. But I thought that might be a fun little thing to do.
A hickey from Kaniki can tell you the future.
Thank you.
Is a prophecy from Apollo.
Yes.
Exactly.
If I were to write the screenplay Greece, spelled Greece, would you want to read it?
Yeah. I love all Greek mythology stuff. Bring it on.
Restore her 2,000 points.
Huzzah.
Absolutely.
And another 1 point just because I'm so happy. I'm so happy someone finally wants to read. As a billionaire, so many people just think I'm money, but I'm more than money. I know the piano. I know Latin. Actually, I don't forget those two. But I also am working on a screenplay, and I think it's a very good idea.
Yeah.
Please look for Greece, spelled Greece, coming to a table read soon.
And as a billionaire, you can buy the rights to Greece. So, like, you don't even have to wait until it goes into the public domain, you know?
Yes, very good. Very, very good.
Can I also remind you that as a billionaire, you don't want to spend your money on Rise of the Pink Ladies, and you should probably save your
Yes,
money.
I'm buying Paramount Plus to burn it.
Smart.
Well,
Smart.
Good news. As of today, they announced that they're taking it off the streaming service and it's going to be erased from history.
That was my doing. Thank you. Everyone's welcome. Everyone's
Thank
welcome.
you, Miss. Oh, the philanthropy from the rich truly does alter humanity.
Yes. No more starting off episode 2 by blatantly ripping off Bye Bye Birdie songs. Julia, thank you so much for coming. We're going to go ahead and tally up your final score. Eric, please do so, and let's see. Use that abacus that I bought you and see where the score lies. Well, I guess that's more Arabic than Greek, but...
That's fine. As we total everything up, you got 6,635 points, plus the 1 extra point for getting the Greece trivia question correct. That gives
Amazing.
you 6,636 points. And as we look at the final score tally, Julia Schifini, you have the highest score in Tell Me About It history. That puts you right ahead of Dr. Moya McTeer, who talked about exoplanets with 5,075 points, and Kristen DiMercurio talking about Minecraft, our former number 1, with 5,531 points. Congratulations, Julia. As predicted, because I knew you would do this, which is why I invited you on, you got the number 1 spot. Congratulations.
Wow.
Oh my God. I don't believe that I beat someone with a PhD, and I will never let Moya live that down.
Yeah, text Moya right now and let
I'm
her
going to
know.
message her right now and be like, hey.
You are on the top of Mount Olympus. And actually, to further laminate your spot in history, to further ascend you to the gods, Julia, one final question before we let you go. What if instead of Greece modeled after Greece, the musical, what if I did Edith Hamilton modeled after Hamilton? And I included in a rap somewhere the lyric, Artemis, you're a part of this?
That's good. That's
Yes.
good.
Sorry, I thought there was more because I was just so inspired by the moment that happened there. Yeah.
Your voice said yes, but your face was crestfallen. Your eyes said, no, please, don't.
To be fair, it was only because I wanted so much more to happen there.
All I could come up with as I thought of this 5 seconds ago was, Artemis, you're a part of this, which I think could sustain the whole show. Another 2 points. Another 2 points to Julia. What does that bring her total to?
6,638 points. Congratulations, Julia.
Congratulations, Julia. Julia, you've been an absolute delight. You've been informative. You've taught me things I did not know about one of my favorite subjects. I'm so thrilled. I'm also going to give you a free ticket to the Burnt City in London, so please go see that. Before you leave, is there anything that you would like to plug or promote?
Yes. So if you liked what I talked about here on Tell Me About It Today, you could check out my podcast. It's called Spirits. It is a drunken dive into mythology, legends, and folklore. Every week we pour a drink and learn about a new story from around the world. And we also last year did an entire series on the Greek pantheon called It's All Greek to Me.
Hell yeah. I will absolutely be listening. I feel like I know someone who listens already and was maybe a guest on that, but can't think of...
interesting.
Can't think of their name.
Was it me? I think it was me.
That's who it was.
Yeah.
It was me.
You have a wife?
No, I don't. It's just this boulder that's getting significantly heavier.
No, you misheard me, Eric. You have a life?
No, I don't. I love this
No, it's
job.
also just this boulder.
My work-life balance is hard because my life is a boulder and so heavy. That's the big problem.
You're also on a hill, so the balance makes it even harder.
Right, exactly.
Well, that's all for this episode of Tell Me About It. Oh, did you see that lightning? Tune in next week for more Lisa Frank folders, quails, and electrons. Say goodbye, Eric.
Goodbye, Eric.